Hey guys, Daniel with Reaper Tactical. Hey, so today I kind of wanted to talk about, I'm sure you saw in the thumbnail, we're going to talk about the Springfield Prodigy. This is the 4.25 comp edition. But before we get to that, if you guys would, we'd greatly appreciate it if you guys would like and subscribe this video. We're a small channel trying to grow. So it would help us out a lot if we can get some more subscriptions. Our goal is to hit 1,000. We got a long way till then, but any little help, we greatly appreciate. So now that's out of the way, let's go ahead and get back to this. So Springfield Prodigy. I've had this gun for maybe 2 weeks now. As you can tell, I've already done a few things to it. Just a magwell optic. I changed the hammer spring, but we'll get into that. So, first thing to know when you get this out of the box, right? It's going to be it's stiff. We'll say that, which makes sense. Brand new gun, the spring's going to be kind of stiff. This one is smoothened out quite a bit over the past 2 weeks. But I kind of want to talk about a little bit, the break-in process of it. So when I first got this, and I brought it home, I noticed, because I took it apart, I was going to, just wipe it down, oil it. But I noticed all this nasty black stuff, all over it, which I might be able to give you an example of what that is. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but it was filthy, literally all throughout the entire firearm. And at first I wasn't really sure what it was. I was like, well, maybe they just use some nasty oil or something, I don't know. But so I did a little bit of research and found out that it's the Cerakote, because this is a mass production pistol. So, when they Cerakoted this thing, pretty much Cerakoted everything. And they put it on there pretty thick. So basically, what I did before I even went and shot this pistol is I manually broke it in. So what I did was I just turned on a movie. I sat there on the couch and I just racked it. Just racked the shit out of it over and over and over again. And so every 500 racks, I would field strip the gun, wipe it back down, get all that crap out of there, re-oil it, do it again. I racked it 2,000 times, estimate. I was definitely at 2,000 for sure. So it was probably a little over 2,000 times that I racked this gun without even touching it or without even shooting it. And just by doing that, I got a lot of that gunk out of there. And you could see inside where, the Cerakote was starting to wear out. So, and the gun started freeing up a lot more. Because the problem is once that Cerakote is all sitting in there, it starts getting real gummy and just grimy. And it's, you guys know these 2011s, or the double stack 1911s, they like to be clean. They like to run clean. They'll still run dirty, but they, any little bit of stuff in there, it'll start getting a little grimy, harder to rack, and then you start running into other malfunctions out on the range. So it took me about 2.5 hours, but I was able to get majority of it out. And then after that, I I was like, all right, cool. I waited a couple days, whatever. I took it to the range. Um, I only have about 300 rounds through this pistol so far. Um, no issues. Uh, Now, I feel like maybe if I didn't do that quick break-in process, took the time to just hand rack the crap out of it, that maybe I would have had other issues. I don't know, but I was I was completely okay with hand racking it, 2,000 times instead of, wasting. I say wasting, but instead of using, 2,000 rounds of ammo pumping through this thing. Um, so I would say that probably definitely helped break it in a little bit. Um, but yeah, no issues out of the first 300 rounds. Um, I will be doing once I get up to about 1,000. I will do another quick like 1,000 round update on the pistol as far as any malfunctions or if anything goes wrong with the pistol. We'll figure it out. So moving on. So next thing that I've seen, is a lot of people talk about, the trigger being real grimy, right? Now mine isn't grimy. It's got a little bit of take up right there, and I'm at the wall and I just give it a little bit of pressure and it goes, right? And nothing, no issues. Bam. So now, so I have, I don't feel the griminess like some people have talked about. Mine seems pretty smooth. It may have, a little bit, but it's nothing crazy. I had no problem with the trigger. I'm assuming it's right around 4 pounds, which, whatever, out of the box. Um, for a mass-produced gun, like, that's fine. I do have another trigger for it. I have a Red Dirt ST trigger that I'm going to be putting in here very soon. So stay tuned for that because I will be putting that in, and then I'll give you guys kind of an update of how it feels and if it's any better or not. Same thing with the mag release, right? I hear a lot of people say that, it is grimy. Now I can feel, a little bit of, resistance in there. But, again, it's a brand new gun. I only have 300 rounds through it. So, you guys can do the math and figure out how many magazine changes that has been. And I've only shot out a 20 round mag. So, it's not bad. I'm sure it'll wear in, it'll break in some more after using it more. But other than that, it works perfectly. I haven't had many issues. I would say the one issue, and it's not even really, I guess it's an issue for me, but some people it doesn't matter, and it's your slide release, right? This thing is a pain in the ass to get to. I have little hands, like, so me being able to hit that, and I've even seen other people that have bigger hands to be able to hit that slide release, like, you can't do it. And I know some people, they'll be like, oh, well, just use your support hand whenever you reload and hit that. Got it, right? Yes, that can happen. I completely understand, right? But I would prefer a bigger, more extended slide release that I'm able to hit it with this one, but whatever. It's not an end-all be-all. All right, I will order another one at some point, just not yet. The other thing with the slide release is sometimes it can be a pain in the ass when you are putting the gun back together to get back in there. And I've seen people in videos, they pop that thing out of there or in there like no problem. Just meep, boom, done. Me, I don't know if it's me or I'm just a little, maybe a little slow, which is possible, right? But getting that thing in there, can be a pain in the ass sometimes. But I'd say I'm pretty decent at puzzles, but that one gives me a hard time. So, um, I end up oiling it up a little bit, just to get it in there, to make it a little bit easier. And it has gotten better over time. So, again, there's Cerakote all over that too. So I've been messing with that, trying to get some of that Cerakote off of there, and it's helped. So let's see. In my opinion, right, I believe that out of the box, it is a little oversprung. I know it comes with a 23-pound hammer spring, or your mainspring. All right, and which, whatever, no big deal. And it comes with a 12-pound recoil spring. So I ordered, or what I thought I ordered at the time, was a 19-pound recoil spring or mainspring. I ended up getting a 17. I guess I accidentally hit the wrong button and got the 17, but I threw it in there anyways. I haven't shot it since I put it in, to see if there's going to be, any issues. But we're going to give it a whirl. I also ordered a 10-pound recoil spring. I made a mistake. So for those of you that don't know, because this is my first 1911 and my first 2011. So I ordered this bad boy right here, which is the Commander flat wire recoil spring, and I ordered it from EGW. So that will not work because it does not go around the guide rod. I do have a Atlas toolless guide rod in there. So this does not work. I thought it would, but it does not. So I had to, because I had, and I think it might just be because of the toolless guide rod. I'm not 100% sure, but I already ordered my the Wolf recoil spring, so that one should work just fine. So I should be getting that one in, I don't know, a day or so, which I'm really excited about, to make this, make it a little bit, what everybody wants. They want to be able to air rack it. They want to be able to do all that, which this might be able to be air racked at some point in time, but it's going to need quite a few more rounds in it before I can do that. One thing that I will say, something that you may want to look at doing. Again, I'm not a gunsmith. I am not a complete 2011, 1911 guru, so I don't really know that much about them that much. But it is where if you get one, you'll notice it pretty much right away. All right. So right there, that shiny part where it looks like a little lip right there, right? That, I've seen people, they'll kind of shave that down and they'll make that whole flat, flat space more, instead of like a 90-degree angle, like it kind of is right now, they kind of make like a little ramp out of it, right? So they'll rub that out some in order to, make it a little smoother. That way, whenever it does go across your disconnector right there, that it's more smooth and it doesn't feel like it gets hung up. But I will say this about the Prodigy, right? For what you're paying for, I personally believe it's a very good option, without spending, staccato money, or without, if you don't have $2,500 to spend on a Kimber 2K11, even though I want one Kimber, you know, but you don't have that money, but you want to step it down a little bit. This is a good option. People have done things to these, and some of them say that they shoot better than their staccatos. I don't know how true that is. I've never shot a staccato. I've never owned a staccato. I've only held a staccato maybe twice in my life. So I can't really comment on that. But as far as the Prodigy goes, I think it's a very good option for those that can't really afford, or maybe you can't afford it, you just don't want to spend that much on a gun, which I don't blame you, because, well, let's be honest, it's pretty expensive, so I definitely do not blame you for not being able to, or not wanting to spend that kind of money. But so just a few takeaways. I don't want to make this video too long, but just a few takeaways with this. Just remember, if you do buy one of these Prodigies, take the time just to do your manual break-in process, if you want. If you don't, hey man, to each his own. Grab you some rounds and go send them down range, but I will say that just doing that little bit of work beforehand, I personally believe has helped out a lot. And like I said, I'm still wiping stuff off, and I've probably now got 3,000 racks through this thing, to include me actually shooting it, and I'm still wiping Cerakote out of there. So just keep that in mind whenever you're looking. But again, I have had no issues with this whatsoever, and it is, in my opinion, it is extremely accurate as well. I'll end up making a video of me shooting it as well, just to give you guys an idea. If you don't, granted, there's hundreds of other videos out there, but I'm telling you, this gun is extremely accurate. It is pretty flat, but like I said, it is a little oversprung out of the box, in my opinion. So it does like to nosedive a little bit. So I'm gonna put a little bit lighter spring in there to hopefully flatten that out a little bit. That way it's not just slamming home really hard and dropping the nose down. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, or anything like that, let's light that comment section up. Let me know. You guys just want to give me shit, give me shit. That's fine with me. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have, guys. I appreciate it if you guys stuck around and watched this long. Again, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and hit that little bell too. That way you can get notified every time we post a video. But that's it, guys. We appreciate it. Train hard, stay dangerous, and we'll see you guys later. All right, man.